How's it going out there, YouTubers? Just thought I'd make another video here about Batman v Superman. All right, I kind of wanted to do a movie review on this now after going to see the movie yesterday because I kind of just want to go over things while it's still fresh in my mind. Because the first time I saw it, I wanted to do a movie review the next day, and I had already forgotten like a lot of the major things that I was talking about the night before. Because generally, overall, I love this movie. I mean, this movie was amazing. And I don't know where everybody's coming from as far as all the critics saying that this movie is sucked, saying that it was boring. I mean, how do you think this movie is boring? I don't know. It makes no damn sense to me at all. Some people were even saying that this is like the worst comic book movie of all time and just whatever. Bullcrap. All right, I don't believe none of it. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're Marvel fanboys. They don't like competition, and anything that gets a little bit more attention than, you know, their Marvel heroes, they probably just try to shut it down the best they know how, which is just hate on it. They don't want to see anything, any kind of competition, do well. So anyway, and Batman v Superman has just been outshining Marvel these past few months. I mean, for this whole year, definitely. Just outshining Disney's Marvel. And I love Captain America. I love that whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. That MCU, I do. I just love it. I love X-Men. So generally what the critics hate, I tend to love. Whatever they tend to love, I tend to hate. So it's just really strange like that. Critics are weird. I don't even bother reading their reviews anymore. But I did for this movie because noticing it only had like a 29% tomato meter rating is like a slap in the face. It's an insult, and it's kind of jeopardizing the future of this DCU. And I'm going to say something about it if that's the case. I'm not going to just let it slide by. I'm not going to let them just try to, sneak one in or try to destroy the fact that, try to destroy the future of the Justice League. I want to see Zack Snyder direct Justice League Part 1 and 2. I love Zack Snyder. I love his visual style. I love his directing style. He's amazing. Watchmen was amazing. 300 was amazing. Dawn of the Dead, that was a good film. That was a really awesome zombie film. It was like one of the first zombie movies I actually really loved and quoted and remembered. And all these other zombie movies that have come before it, or come after it, have copied off of what he did in that movie. Sucker Punch wasn't all that great, but I saw a lot of that visual style in this movie, especially with the pearl necklace in the beginning, because Batman v Superman opens up with just this dramatic scene with Bruce Wayne's parents being shot in Crime Alley after attending a movie. I think it was like The Mask of Zorro or something. The name of the movie was Zorro or something. But anyway, to make a long story short, though, Zack Snyder's directing style is awesome. It's beautiful. With the score and everything, it really hooks you, it grabs you, and as soon as it opened up, I'm in. I'm already like on the edge of my seat. I'm looking at the screen and I'm watching, the pearl necklace being snapped by the gun, the hammer on the gun as the guy pulls the trigger. And you see the pearl necklace in slow motion just snap and just pearls go everywhere, and he's unshot versus Mother Martha. And just with the music and everything, it was really gut-wrenching. It was really, I was like, wow, that was definitely, I don't think I've ever seen it that way before. That was really good. And when little Bruce ran and he fell down I guess it wasn't the well or whatever it was a cave. He fell down, and as he was falling in slow motion, just the look on the kid's face was perfect. I mean, he did a really good job acting that part out too. So, and there's a lot more to acting than just delivering a line the way you think it sounds like it should be delivered. There's, face acting, there's body language, everything goes into it, and a lot of people miss that. When they say that Wonder Woman's acting in this movie is wooden, okay, well, what do you mean? Are you talking about, like, the body language, the lines that she delivered? What? I mean, be a little bit more specific, because I didn't see that. I didn't notice that at all. I thought she did perfect. I thought she was awesome in this movie. And I don't know where half the people were coming from. That I went to go see this movie twice in IMAX 3D. The first night I saw it on Thursday, the whole theater was just so super excited. And everybody cheered. Everybody was on board. They seemed like they loved the movie. Everybody left excited and enthusiastic. But regardless, the reviews that it's getting is definitely unwarranted. The movie is great. And the people were excited in the theater. They were loving it. Both times I went, I went Thursday night and then I went again Saturday night or Sunday afternoon actually at 12:30, and both times they loved it. And so I don't know what part of town these yuppies live in that hated the movie, but my guess is that this movie is it's more for intellectuals, I guess you could say. You have to use your brain while watching this movie. There's so many different pieces of the puzzle that you need to piece together in the movie in order to pick up plot points here and there. And I could see if you're not like a comic book fan, or if you don't like to use your brain when you go to the movies, if you like to be just spoon fed every plot point, every detail in the movie, if you like to be told what the story is and told what's going on. And I hate that about movies. It's so dumb. They look at you like you're stupid in the movie. They think you're dumb, and I don't like movies like that. Now I know a lot of people do, but this is not one of those movies. You have to use your brain. A lot of the lines that are delivered by Alfred, a lot of the lines that are delivered by Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck, even Henry Cavil, even his father, all these scenes have hidden meanings to them. I mean, there's like a dual nature, a dual meaning to pretty much everything that everybody says in this movie. You can kind of, like, especially Lex Luthor. I mean, his lines were he spoke, and a lot of people thought he was just crazy, but really what he was saying, there was a lot of meaning there, and it was really deep, and a lot of people missed that. It just went right over their heads. They didn't get it. So, and geniuses are actually often misunderstood. So, sadly, it, that happened to this movie. And Zack Snyder, in my opinion, is just a genius. I love the way he directs. He's unique. Okay, and a lot of other directors seem the same to me. It's really hard to find a director that has a certain style that you can kind of pick out and say, wow, that's specifically J.J. Abrams with the lens flare, or that's Michael Bay with the panning effect, or that's Zack Snyder with the muted colors and everything like that. So, not very many directors you can actually do that, okay, and actually pinpoint who directs this film, because they're all the same. They're all just like cookie cutters. They just come out of school just copying off of everybody else. They don't have their own style. They haven't developed it, but Zack Snyder has, and you can tell a Zack Snyder film. And this movie might have been a step up from Man of Steel, because there was a lot of complaints about Man of Steel and how Zack Snyder directs. Well, with this movie, he kind of fixed a lot of that, like shaky cam, that's no longer in the movie anymore. A lot of people hate his slow motion. I don't know why. I love it. I think if it's used right, it can be very beautiful. It can be very effective. And there was some of that in this movie. So, but in Man of Steel, there really wasn't much. I don't even think any actual slow motion that I can think of. So, I'm glad he kind of went back to his roots on that. So, I don't know, but the score was amazing. Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL did a great job scoring this movie. When the album was released, before the movie was, like a few days before or whatever, and I was listening to it because I pre-ordered it and iTunes told me, and I just downloaded it right away to listen to it. I just really wasn't all that impressed, and I was thinking, wow, if the movie is anything like this, album, I might leave disappointed. It just didn't sound all that great. It didn't sound all that captivating. But boy, was I in for a surprise when I went into the theater and that soundtrack started. The score started. Oh man, it hooks you. Oh, I don't know how he does it. He just has a way of playing the best parts of these soundtracks and just making it beautiful. making it captivating, and that's exactly what he did. Batman's theme was just so awesome, and the bass and the, I don't know, it was just great. Uh, I don't see how anybody can complain about that. But the movie started off with a bang, with Bruce Wayne flying through the city, trying to get away from the scout ship that crashed with Zod inside. After seeing the destruction from the Black Zero and everything, he's driving through the city and just seeing that thing crash through all the buildings, just slicing right through the buildings was, oh man, it was even more surreal, I guess you could say, than Man of Steel was, because this seemed a lot more, from Bruce Wayne's point of view, it just seemed to be a little bit more realistic. And it was kind of scary, and it was really traumatizing, watching the little girl that was standing there who almost died and got flattened, and he saved her life. And so whatever you think you saw in the trailer, don't be surprised if some of the dialogue has changed. So, like, for one example, I guess I'll just give you one example. When in the trailer you actually see Bruce Wayne, or you see Batman actually kick all those guys' butts in the building. After that, you see him kind of like walking in the Batcave, and he's like, I've become slow in my old age, Alfred." Well, that's in the trailer, but in the movie, he doesn't say it like that. He's saying, "You've become slow in your old age, Alfred." So he's talking about Alfred, not himself. See, they change little things like that, I guess, to try to surprise you. I mean, so they say that this is the Lex Luthor that they've wanted or expected or whatever. This is a totally different take. Well, this is not the Lex Luthor that you wanted or expected, because this is not Lex Luthor. This is not the same Lex Luthor. This is Alexander Luthor. This is his son. So Lex Luthor with the bald head, the businessman that you guys seen in all the other movies before with Christopher Reeves, and even the Superman Returns movie, it's not the same. That's a different Lex. Okay, so you just give Jesse Eisenberg a little slack here. Okay, this is a different take. This is a fresh look. This is a whole new outlook on the whole Superman universe. And don't be surprised, you shouldn't be surprised, if you get a whole fresh take on a lot of the characters in this universe. I don't see why people just don't get that. They don't understand that. But they want the same Marvel movie, the same rehashed jokes, the whole nonsense over and over again with the bright colors. They don't want anything different. But you see, DC is doing something a lot different than what Marvel's doing. Marvel, they already have their road mapped out. They're going one way, and they're sticking with the jokes and the lightheartedness because they're a Disney film. They have to be like that. They can't make a rated R movie, okay? They just can't. But DC, they have their own roadmap now, and they're following that. They're going completely two different directions, and people are just angry, trying to compare Man of Steel, trying to compare Batman v Superman with Marvel, as far as they want the bright colors and the quippy lines and the jokes and this and that. So it's not like that. I like it. I'm okay with the seriousness. I'm okay with the dark scenes and things like that. I think it's awesome. I like it. And when I go to a movie, I'm just ready for whatever ride the director wants to take me on. Let's do it. I'm there. I'm trying to at least have an open mind for the most part. Another thing I noticed about this movie is that a lot of the actors stepped up their game in this one. Okay, it's better than Man of Steel. In Man of Steel, a lot of people complained about the dialogue in that movie, and I didn't really see a whole lot of that. I mean, the relationship between Lois Lane and Henry Cavil as Superman in the movie was I kind of cringed a little bit at the kissing scene and stuff like that, but it didn't hurt me none of it. It didn't sway my opinion about the movie in any way at all like that. But some people complained about it. And I noticed right away in this movie that the acting was just like a step up, a major step up in Man of Steel. I mean, Lawrence Fishburne, he had a lot more to do in this movie. He had a lot more to say. He felt more natural in the role. Amy Adams was the same way. I loved her in this movie. And Henry Cavill, he's so honest, and he's so humble, and he's so just sturdy and straight as an actor. I don't know, he comes across as a perfect Superman. And I heard somebody complain today about how he's a shit actor and this. I had to stop listening. I couldn't even listen to the rest of the podcast. I had to turn it off because it was just nonsense to even say about the guy. I mean, he's a good actor. He has his style. He has his niche, his niche or whatever you want to call it, that he gets into, and he has his way of acting, just like Ben Ben Affleck has his way of acting. And Jesse Eisenberg too. Everybody says, "Oh, Jesse Eisenberg played Jesse Eisenberg," or Henry Cavill just plays Henry Cavill in every movie. What the hell does that even mean?
It's time to admit, people. Let's just stop the bullshit here. I know y'all wanted to defend Henry Cavill and Man of Steel. I know y'all want to defend Superman.
It's done.
Superman's a fucking dull dude, man.
Dude, it's not Superman. It's what you do. You have people who don't know and don't like Superman. It's the way they treat him. And Henry Cavill is a shit actor. He's a wooden piece of I don't know, wooden piece of wood, but he is. And the thing is, okay, because you think about that, Superman's dull, but everybody loved Christopher Reeve, and you know why? Because he put a personality into Superman.
Yeah, but not him.
Not this guy. No,
you know what?
Whatsoever.
You know what Henry Cavill is in this movie? Both as Superman and Lex Luthor.
And Clark Kent.
And I mean, Clark Kent. He's chicks. You can relate to this. He's that handsome dude that you see at the coffee shop, sitting back wearing a nice tight shirt, reading a book. And you're like, oh, I want to talk to this dude. And you go on a date with him. He's the most boring you've ever met.
Exactly.
He's
not even so boring that he just talks about himself. He just doesn't talk about anything.
I mean, really? Come on, guys. Not everybody can be a chameleon in every different movie they make. Just, you gotta stop putting your expectations on a lot of these actors, because you're bringing the movie down, and not only that, you're ruining your own experience. I mean, this is supposed to be enjoyable. This was a good, badass film. It had a lot of action in it. There should be no reason why you can't sit there and enjoy the movie. So, they also said that the pacing felt disjointed. I didn't notice that at all, except for like the bullet scene was like basically the only time that I noticed that, wow, or when Clark Kent was talking with his mother in the cornfield, Martha, and then it just jumped out of that, and I can't remember where I went from there, but it went to something else. I just remembered, okay, wow. But you know what? Who cares? That's storytelling. There's a reason for that. Maybe they had to cut the film down to add something else in. Some of the questions I actually had about the movie, it was like, how did Lex Luthor know about Darkseid? But actually, I just found that out today, though, by the way. So I wrote these down before, but I just found that out today with the deleted scene that they released called Communion. You see Lex Luthor actually in the Genesis chamber, and you see the soldiers like kind of rappel down, and they got their weapons like this, and they're just like kind of searching around because they know Lex Luthor's in here somewhere in the Genesis chamber, and they're like looking, and they come upon him, and as they come upon him, Lex Luthor is in the water there. I guess he's like in the embryonic fluid or whatever it is there, and it looks like he's in like some sort of meditation mode or whatever, but it looks like he's being taught by this AI, who I think, because if you notice, a lot of the beads that were making up this horned, I guess a lot of people want to say it's Steppenwolf, who I don't really know, honestly. I don't really know what character that is. I'm guessing he's like some sort of minion for Darkseid. But anyway, you could tell that this demon-looking figure with like these horns or whatever was trying to teach Lex something. It had these 3 boxes floating in midair, and the beads that were in the first Man of Steel that they used to show a lot of their pictures, and it was like basically their way of showing television or whatever. But anyway, that was basically what this demon or whatever, that Steppenwolf, I guess I guess that's who it is, was using to somehow form whatever Steppenwolf was trying to teach Lex Luthor, I guess, how to use a boom tube. And I also thought, was that Man-Bat in the movie too? I think it was, actually. That had like this jump scare that was in the video game Arkham, one of the Arkham video games there, where where you rappel up this building or whatever, and as soon as you climb to the top of the building, like this big giant Man-Bat, scares the crap out of Batman. Oh my God! Kind of did the same thing in this movie. I think that's who it was. And then, there was a Brainiac reference too, when the Genesis chamber, the scout ship, actually said that it had the knowledge of 100,000 worlds. Well, that to me sounded just like a Brainiac reference. So somehow, I think Brainiac, if they wanted to, they could use that scout ship or maybe the command key. Somehow, Brainiac could arise out of that Genesis chamber or that scout ship. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. So see how this movie has a lot of layers to it? It's like an onion. You just have to peel back the layers, and once you do, you can get into the meat of the whole movie. And it's just like layer after layer. And I haven't even begun to, and other people haven't even begun to discover all the Easter eggs that are hidden in this movie. You know, with the Flash scene, I love Flash. I love the nightmare scene. That was awesome. That was just beautiful. It was just so amazing. I mean, it stopped me right in my tracks. It scared me even. You know, it was just so badass to watch Bruce Wayne. Like, you hear the music kick in for like the nightmare scene, and you see him just step up to this platform in the middle of the desert, and you see all these ships in the background just kind of destroying the city. The city was already destroyed, but you see like these giant pillars of fire or whatever coming down out of the cracks. It was it was beautiful. It was awesome. But in that scene, you know, after he gets kidnapped or whatever, and he's taken hostage, and Bruce Wayne's hanging like this, or Batman's hanging like this in the trailers, you see it in the TV spots. Superman comes crashing down. You see the dust fly up. That was awesome. I mean, I was scared. I was like, "Oh crap, you're screwed, Batman," because this looked like the Superman from the movie or from the game Injustice. And you don't want to mess with that Superman. All right, that Superman has lost his mind. All right, and so when he come in and he starts setting people on fire and just cutting them in half with his heat vision, oh damn! I was like, what? Oh, hell no. This is not the Superman I know. This is a different Superman. I thought it was like Bizarro or something. But damn, that was scary. And if I was Batman, I'd be pissing in my pants too. So, but you know, when Henry Cavil put his hand up on his chest like that, oh man, I was like, oh shoot, no way is he going to rip his spine out or something. He's going to rip his heart out just like he did in the game to Joker. And when he goes to make that move, like, oh man, that really got me. I was like, oh crap. You know, I felt the same way Bruce Wayne did in the movie when he woke up. He was like, oh, you know, and then as soon as he woke up, then out of nowhere, Flash appears, another vision. And that like freaked me out. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? This is awesome. You know, and the lights are flashing. You hear like the sound of electricity. And at first I couldn't make out what he said, but then I kind of like, it took me a couple seconds to actually try to adjust to what he was saying. But after that, he was like, you're right about him. And then he also says, you know, you have to save her, save Lois. And I remember him also saying, am I too soon? Am I too soon? And this and that. So whoever he's talking about, I don't know. I think it's a setup for a future movie because I don't think he's talking about Superman. When he says you're right about him, I think he's talking about Darkseid. I think there might be a deleted scene that we're missing somewhere. But I think he's referencing Darkseid. And I don't know if maybe the Flash is referencing Superman because, look, save Lois, or else, because if you don't, and Superman loses Lois, he's going to lose his shit. And that'll be the end. I mean, like, he'll own all the superheroes. He'll take over the Earth, just like he did in the movie, or the game, Injustice. So, I don't know. It was very interesting, but we'll see. And I think a lot of that has to do with, it's just all set up for the next movie. Zack Snyder has to set up Wonder Woman. Okay, he has to not only set up Wonder Woman, he has to set up Justice League, and then there's Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is the next movie coming out in August. So look at all these movies he has to set up in one movie, and these people are just shitting all over the hard work that this man put into this movie for 3 years now. Not only him, but all the actors that did well that got praise from critics, as far as Batman, Wonder Woman, Lawrence Fishburne. All these other characters who actually did good in the movie, who the critics thought did good, they're just shitting all over what they did in the movie. And it's not fair. I don't like it, and it pisses me off. So, anyway, that's just kind of my take on the whole thing. I know I'm missing a lot, but I kind of wanted to go over some of the highlights of what I thought about the film. There's a lot more I definitely want to talk about, so I think I might make another video about another topic dealing with this movie that I'd like to get into. So, anyway, just want to say thanks for listening and watching, and give the video a like if you actually finally like hearing a positive review about this movie.